friends, and welcome back. My name is Kallie Branciforte. If you're new here, I'm super pumped you stopped by because today we are talking about kids' toys. Now obviously we need toys for our children to entertain them and for them to play with, but even if you try to keep your toy collection small, between like birthdays and friends and grandparents, that collection seems to grow. And somehow it seems like the more toys you have and the more your house feels like it's drowning in toys, the less your kids are playing with them. So today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite and go-to toy storage and organization hacks and tips to make sure that your kids are playing with your toys, they're engaged with the toys, but your house is not completely overwhelmed by them. Before we jump into this video, I just wanted to let you know that this video is actually a collab with my friend Kayla. I haven't done a YouTube collab in so long, but I know you guys are gonna love Kayla's content because she's a fellow mom blogger. She shares all sorts of mom tips and just adventures of her day. She's super authentic and really down to earth, so I know you guys are gonna like her. And she's going to be sharing her best toy storage and organization tips in a video as well. So after you watch this video, make sure to go check out her video, see what her additional tips are as well, and make sure that you let her know in the comments that I sent you. Okay, so I actually decided to take advantage of filming this video and just do like a complete clean and organization of my son's play corner, which is where we are right now, as well as just like a full purge and organize of all of his toys. So we don't have an entire playroom in our house, and I'll talk a little bit later about toy rotation and how I use it and why I'm totally fine not having an entire playroom for my child. But we do have this play corner, which is like the one half of our sunroom that we use for my son. And actually prior to this, we just had a single shelf that we used that was like in the living room. But now with quarantine, my son is not going to be going back to daycare for a while, which is just a personal family choice given the circumstances of the world. So I wanted to give him a little bit more of a space. So we sort of created this play corner for him about a month ago, but I'm going to be adding some more storage and organization in here throughout this video. But I figured I would just take advantage of this reorganization time by just taking everything out of this room and giving it a good clean. And the first thing that's going back into this space is this low shelf. Now this shelf was $16 from IKEA, and I will link it down below, but I love having a shelf in a play space as opposed to a toy box or basket. In my opinion, it's super key to helping to keep toys organized. Now like a toy box or a toy chest is really great in theory because at the end of the day you can just throw all of your kids' toys into the basket and like you're done, it's cleaned up. But I actually just find that it's really not conducive to super engaged play because everything is just into one basket, like pieces are missing or at the bottom of the basket, and I find that he's much less engaged with toys when it's just a complete mass inside of a basket or a bin. So the concept behind using a toy shelf instead, particularly in Montessori parenting, is that the toys are presented in a really easy, simple, decluttered way for your child. So all the pieces they need for every toy are together, so play is really easy. It's also nice and low, so it's at your child's level, so they can easily help themselves to the toys that they want. It also helps immensely with toy rotation, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later in this video. Another thing I'm adding to this room is these IKEA spice racks. I actually use these in Miles's room as well. So I like these little shelves because you can put out just enough books that he's interested and he's engaged, but he's not just pulling 100 books off of the shelf for me to put away every single night, because we all know that children love to just pull things off of shelves, and having an entire shelf of all books is really overwhelming, and I know he would just pull them all off. So I love these spice racks because it's just like the perfect little amount of books. Okay, so on to organizing the toys. I decided to take advantage of this time and just pull out literally all of Miles's toys from every corner of our house and pile them into one place so I could really dig in and organize. So this is all of his toys, including all of his baby toys, and I'm going to go through these and organize them by type. So I'm weeding out all of the toys that he's outgrown first. I don't need baby rattles that he doesn't touch anymore, like mixed in with his toddler toys. So I'm going to take out all the toys he's outgrown and store them away. Now we do plan to have more kids down the road, so I'm going to save them for baby 2. But if you're not planning on any more kids, right now might be a good time to think about giving away or donating. I know parting with baby toys can feel really, really hard, so don't feel like you have to get rid of everything. If you want to keep 2 or 3 that are really sentimental for you, that's fine. It's just that now would be the time to take them out of toy storage and move them into like family keepsakes instead. Okay, so now I'm left with just the toys that he is currently playing with, and so I'm going to do my best to organize these by type. So I have like a bin with toys with wheels, I have a bin for fine motor skills toys, I have building toys, and I'm using these clear plastic bins that I actually already owned, so I didn't have to buy anything new. I'm also going to be repurposing some cardboard boxes for storage as well. The point is that I'm trying to make is don't feel like you need to go out and spend $150 on like brand new plastic totes. While plastic bins are really nice because you can see what's inside, I'm also going to be labeling my bins, so try to work with what you already have. Okay, so even though I'm taking like items and I'm putting them into bins, I'm still trying to keep items separate if it makes sense. So in this bin of building materials, I have plastic bricks, I have wooden bricks, and then I have some foam bricks. Now I have these stored in these little Dollar Tree bins. I love these. They're called the locker bins from the Dollar Tree. They're the perfect size for little hands, and they're like the perfect size for loads of kids' toys. So I'm keeping these items separate in these locker bins and then putting them inside of the bigger bin. So then when it's time to use one of these, it's really easy for me to just grab it. Another hack that I love using to keep toys with smaller pieces together is to use a mesh laundry bag. I had bought a big bulk set on Amazon, but you can get these for $1 at the Dollar Tree. So many kids' toys come with all these little itty bitty pieces and they get lost and misplaced. Not to mention that the boxes they come in always break and fall apart, and so I love using these bags to keep everything together in a really easy, simple way. And they're also super great for pretend play items, putting your pretend play items together. I'm using one for all of Miles's kitchen play stuff. So I'm just going to continue going through everything and getting things organized into bins with like items. Okay, so we are in my basement, which is not like one of those cute refinished basements. It's like one of these kind of basements, you know what I mean? The ceilings are low, they're about 6 feet, but our house does not have an attic, and luckily this basement actually stays really nice and dry, so it's great for storing stuff. And this is where I keep all of our toys when we're not using them. And I feel like this is really key, is to getting the toys that you're not using like out of the way. They need to be somewhere where the kids can't find them and the kids can pull them out, and then things can get mixed in. So a garage, a basement, if you have a closet space that maybe you can kid proof so the kids can't get in it. For me, I just feel like the toys that aren't being used right now, that aren't in our current rotation, just need to be out. They need to be away, but they need to be organized in a really easy way for me to find, because I don't want to spend an hour rotating toys every week or every month even. I want to be able to come downstairs really quick, find the toys I want, rotate them out, and make it happen. And so what I got is this muscle rack. This is what it looks like. It's actually, I got the 5 shelf one and then realized it will not fit. But luckily the way that this thing is designed, I'm actually going to be able to make it into 2 separate units that are a little bit short. So it actually kind of works out, because I didn't actually need like the entire thing for toys, at least not at this moment. But I will link this one we bought down below. I got on Amazon and it was actually a really great price. I'm probably going to end up buying at least one more of them. It was so easy to set up. It didn't involve any tools, no screws, no bolts. So definitely I'll link this down below if you need something. It would work great in a garage as well. Another quick hack for storing, if you have some wooden puzzles, is to get one of these pantry racks. These are usually used for like cutting boards and pot tops, but they're actually really great for wooden puzzles. And I love this because you can easily see all the puzzles at once. So you could put like 3 out on display for your kid at once, or you could use it just to store them, you know, wherever you keep your toys stored away so that you can easily see them. But it's just a really nice, quick, easy hack for wooden puzzles. Okay, we're heading back into the play corner to start to put everything back, and I have a great little hack for stuffed animals. I got this scarf organizer. You can usually find these for less than $10, and they're a great way to store stuffed animals, get them up off the floor, but also at easy grasp, and you can see them all at once, again, as opposed to putting them into a basket or a bin, which just most likely is going to end up dumped all over the floor. Another thing that I always keep near whatever our play area is what I call the pieces basket. That's going back to the problem where so many kids' toys come with like so many little tiny pieces, and they always end up like rolled underneath your sofa, or you find like one in the fridge for whatever reason. They end up everywhere. So what I do is I keep this little pieces basket out near Miles's playroom. Whenever I see a piece lying around that doesn't belong with something, I put it in this basket, and then once a month I take the basket down to the basement where I store all of his toys, and then I can just match them up with what they belong to. And it's just a really easy way to make sure that I'm not losing all of the pieces to his toys, and I also don't end up with just like bins of random pieces to toys that don't go together. Along the top wall of my son's play corner, we also have this really easy trick for just hanging up art. So all you need is some command hooks and some string, and then you can just clip their art to this using clothespins. It's a really great way, especially if they're doing like any painting. You can clip it up there while it dries, but I think it's just a cute, fun way to display some of their art in their space and gets it up off of the table. Finally, I'm also going to take this time to organize our books. Our books had sort of just been overflowing everywhere, and so I'm just going through them. I'm taking out the few books that Miles has outgrown. He really hasn't outgrown a ton of books at this age, but there are some that he doesn't really care for anymore. I'm gonna put that with the other baby stuff. We also have a lot of books that were either gifted to us or I just had in my collection because I did used to teach elementary school, so I had a bunch of books sort of in my collection before I even had children that Miles is just not old enough for yet, so I'm separating those out as well. I'm gonna put those away in storage because we don't need those for a while, and then I'm left with just the books that are like appropriate for his age right now. And then again, I do have some available for him that I rotate out that are here in his play corner, and then we keep some in his bedroom, and then the rest live in a big basket, and so I can kind of just rotate them out. So I do rotate my books as well. It's not like as strict as with his toys, because I actually find that he literally will read the same book over and over and over again for months. So I let him guide that a little bit more, but I do try to have some that aren't available right at this moment so that I can sort of rotate in some that are new. Okay, the last sort of tip I want to share with you is the process of using toy rotation. It is something that we use, and it works really well to prevent our house from just becoming completely overwhelmed with toys. Now, you may have noticed that as I was putting everything back together, that the majority of Miles's toys are currently down in the basement where he can't get them. And that is because I try to only put out about 10 to 20% of his toys at once. Now, if you've never used toy rotation before, the idea behind it is that you give your kids access to only a portion of their toys at once, and then the rest go away in storage. When your child has too many toys available, they usually get bored of them. There's actually something called toy fatigue, which can literally make their favorite toy look like a piece of junk because they just get bored with it. Not to mention, when kids have too many toys out, it often can be very overwhelming for them because there's too many choices, and that leads to much less engaged play. So instead, by rotating your toys, you're keeping the selection concise, fresh, and new. There aren't too many choices, and every time you rotate the toys, it's like they have brand new toys that they haven't played with before, even if they saw them a month or two ago. And that's another reason that I love that little IKEA shelf we have, because it's low, it's right at Miles's level, but it's also not too big. So basically, if it fits on the shelf, then we can have it for this rotation. But if it doesn't, you know, then it's too much. As far as how often I rotate, I really let Miles guide that. Sometimes we've had a single rotation out for a month. Sometimes I rotate after a week. I really just go based on if he seems like interested or engaged with the toys, or he starts to get bored with them. Now, I do know that the idea of toy rotation is really great, but it can be hard with parents of older children, because when your kids are older, they realize that their toys are being rotated, and kids get very attached to toys and they don't want them to go away. And so you may have to be a little bit more flexible. I know it's not, you know, exactly the same based on what your like given situation is, but I will give you just a little tip that I used when we taught preschool, and that is just get your kids involved in the process. Kids love feeling like they're part of something. So show them the shelf. Say, we're going to put out all the toys that we can fit on just this shelf, and the rest of the toys are going to go and take a nap, or, you know, whatever you want. They're going to go on vacation, or whatever you want to tell them. And then let your kid help you choose which toys they want to have out on that shelf. Kids, believe it or not, really do like rules and boundaries that they can like understand. So like just enough toys as will fit on this shelf is really clear and concise to them. And they love having the feeling that they have the power of choice. So by giving them that choice and saying, you get to choose what toys are going on the shelf, it may make it a little bit easier for them. And you can always remind them, you know, these toys are just going to take a nap. Whenever you want them, we can take them out again. And then when they want to switch something, you say, okay, we want to take out this toy. We got to put one other toy, you know, down for a nap, or again, whatever you want to say that the toys are doing. All right, my friends, that does it. Those are some of my favorite toy organization methods to make sure that I have stuff out, my kid is happy, he's engaged, he has stuff to use, but it is not everywhere, in every corner and every crevice of my house. Because not only is that not conducive to my lifestyle, I don't want kids' toys like everywhere, but also I've really found that if I have too many toys out, it just leads to him playing with them a lot less. If you're using these tips, I love, love, love seeing you guys use my tips and my hacks in action. So make sure that you share them on Instagram. You can just tag me in your stories or in your post or whatever, because I love seeing those and I love resharing those. But as always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video.